Okay, thank you for waiting in the time that we are need to start our course today. And after we check about the virtual class, I also check with your last of exercise in a session of 11s that all of you has been complete about your exercise with the material from relationships. I checked one by one that you are dealing with the regressions analysis using the Microsoft Excels, and all of you can explain about the graphical chart and also how to do with some analysis using the regressions. And for today, we are continuing our materials. If the last few sessions we talked about the relationships between the variables, and today we need to know about the optimizations or how we optimize our data or our analysis. And for the next meetings, for the next weeks, we will learn about the type of uncertainty that should be overcome in our data. Let me to share about the PowerPoints. Is it well delivered to you? Okay. Yeah. Today we want to talk about the data analysis in the mode of optimizations. I will cover in two subtopics. The first one is about the introductions about the optimizations of modelings. When we talk about the relationships between the variables, we know that any kind of variables should be expressed by the mathematical expressions or in the algebra functions, and we can make some predictions or forecasting analysis. For that reasons, we need about the powerful and the kind of methods to predict with the quantitative data. It means that should be delivered again or make some analysis using the numerical or number of data. So when we find about the any kind of the data should be in a category or maybe in a ratio analysis or sometimes in a discrete mode like the full number of the data, or also it's represent in a decimals mode. We face about the flexibles kind of data. So in this case, we need to start first from linear programming. Okay. For the linear programming, we have learned in the last sessions about the relationship in the linear of regressions. The linear regression is combining about the two kind of variables. It should be a dependent and independent or target variables with the factorial variables. But sometimes we need to analyze more than two kind of variables. We face lots of any kind of variables or sometimes in a mixed mode. It could be delivered in numericals like a decimals or discrete number, or sometimes in a categorical like 1 and 0 or maybe 1 or 2 or 3 in the kind of the ordinals variable. So we have the possibilities to make some analysis. The kind of possibilities it could be comes from the algebra functions or mathematical functions. Sometimes it's also comes from the Microsoft Excel functions that could be difficult to express, or more of the functions cannot be accessed in our analysis. Okay, no problem, Since you can uh as as long as you can hear my voice, you can receive the materials in a well conditions. I think that's okay. It's just the camera problems. Okay. Let me to continue about the materials. After we have to find the possibility in the Excel's modes, we also find about the optimal solutions using the reflections of any kind of the formula that's containing in Microsoft Excel, like the solver and solve graphicals. Look at this first sessions that we found about the possibility in a mathematical functions, or in a science we call the algebra models. In this case, we need to solve by the manual of mathematical process. So if we need about the efficiency in time, or maybe you need to be in the phase of computings, you can do with your Excel modes more than the manual of mathematical process. The next problem is comes about the Excel modes. If you want to draw your problems to be in graphical solutions. The graphical solutions, sometimes we need to know about the mid of the objects between the x-axis and the y-axis. So we need to find about the more visible regions, or the more the acceptable regions, to know that our model is could be optimized or could be acceptable in our selections or our problems. In this case, we can find about any kind of for optimal solutions, or any kind of the constraints. So in the economical models, we found this one like the functions of demands and supply. The next point is we need to learn about the any kind of possibility that could be happen in our mathematical problems. We called sensitivity analysis in statisticals. So sometimes we cannot find in an easy way to know how analysis could be a sensibles, and how we can make some optimal solutions for our mathematical problems. So in this case, I will show you about the two kind of performing sensitivity analysis. We could be make any comparisons using the sensitivity report, or you can use with the solver tables that will be accompany with the Microsoft Excel functions. The first one is how we analyze using the solver sensitivity reports. In this case, we can compare and contrast about the coefficients, the number of the probability, and also the kind of analysis. So we need to compare more than two variables. In the minimals, we have two kinds of variables that could be compares. In another way, we have the solver tables that the function will be add-ons in your Microsoft Excels. Most of your Microsoft Excels, it could be generally built using the originals of Microsoft Educations. But if you have the a software that didn't have some connections with the Microsoft Educations, the solver tables could be improvised with the asking permissions by your software's inquiry. With the solver tables, we can find about the any possibilities that could be happen in our analysis. You can check with this one's informations. If you want to produce in a 2015s and 3000s, 3 and 3.5, 4000s and 4.5 and 5000s. So they will be give you any opinions or any possibilities that could be happens in our analysis. This is the comparisons between the sensitivity report and the solver tables. If we have the sensitivity reports, it's only focused for the coefficients. The coefficients could be compares to the another variables. Which one is very efficient? Which one is very useful for our analysis? The another advantages for sensitivity report is about the useful of informations. It could be changing between the variables. You can use with any kind of outputs that you should be accessed using the backgrounds of statistical models that will be provided by Microsoft Excel. In other way, we have a solver table that could analyze in any kind of variable modes. Sometimes it's provide some informations between the solver table and solver sensitivity reports. But in the solver table, it creates some experiments. So you can choose with more than any options that could be happen while you can use in sensitivity reports. So the solver tables, it's more flexible than your sensitivity reports. The next point, we need to overing about the magnitude of our linear model programming. So what is the kind of magnitudes? The kind of the magnitudes is talk about the number of the coefficients that could be have some effect. And it should be in a significant effects and it's have the three kind of the possibility. It's could be in automatic functions like the intercepts or maybe in the beta analysis, and it should be in a various quantity. Since our data is represented in a random models, so we can find about the any various of the quantity. And in the last points, we need to make some precisions with considering about the standard of error. When we do some regressions analysis or make some optimizations analysis, we cannot make the best solutions. We only do with the feasible solutions. Sometimes the feasible solutions is not the best options that we have. It should be satisfied with any kind of constraints. As we know that everything is not perfect. It's similar with our statistical models. We cannot do it in perfect conditions. Sometimes we found or we face with the sums of constraints in our analysis. So what kind of analysis that could be happen in your data? It should be in a feasible way. That's you can accommodate all of your constraints. That's sometimes we make some mistakes in our data, or sometimes we doesn't have any solutions. But if is it possible and feasible, that's the best options that you have. So in data analytics, we only find about the feasible options, not the best options or the perfect options, because our analysis include in big populations, or we only do with a small samples. So this is the reasons why we cannot make some perfect forecasting for our analysis. The another problem that could be happen in our linear model is about the time of periods. Sometimes we have some observations, or we have the data from observations more than one periods. For examples, if you want to see about the carbon emissions in our country or in your country, you can make some observations starting for 2015 until 2022 or 23. So it's represent in more than 1 year. It's offer you with a several time of the periods. So we need to do in ramifications functions, or with the problem occurs about the time or the periods of your analysis. So what happened in our mathematical functions or the algebra functions is about the combinations between the time series data and the cross-section data. So we have the mixed models in our analysis. The mathematics could be make some potential solutions or the balanced solutions using multiple periods. But if combination with the typical user or the cross sections, our analysis will be in advanced formula or advanced functions. So to solve about these problems, we need a decision support system. And IT programs or information technology programs, we also use about the decision support system or DSS. The DSS is giving us about any optimal solutions that would happen in our analysis. They only offer us about the three kind of analysis: in the short way, in the long way, and in the moderate of analysis. So we can choose with which one is very feasible to do in our observations. What is the impact in our data analysis? We can do with that informations to do with optimizations models. You can do with your analysis like correlations or regressions, and we can compare with the another kind of informations that we have. So it called about the optimizations. So the problem is about the dynamic of modeling. Sometimes we found about more complex informations with reflected in our data. So it's difficult to find the best solutions or difficult to find the feasible solutions. But any over they are the reality, we need to change, we need to focus, and we need to set our optimizations model. That is the problems that we need to tackle in our optimizations. We need to blend our inputs, and then we need to combine, or we need to produce which one the output we need to know, like the maybe the combining models, like the how the companies runs. It's not only for the first factor in a capitals. When you do some business, it's not the main problem for the capitals. It's a combination problem. While you have a capital, you also need with the human resource. So you can run your business with the knowledge, with the intellectual capitals and money capital. That's the simple way how to run a business in the mixed model or blending models. What kind of possibility that should be happen in our process like the data analytics for business? We found the problem about the logistic model. Sometimes we doesn't know how we can transfer our informations, our data on our knowledge, maybe in our course from the origins to the destinations, because we have the limited capacity. Our business is depend on the functions that we have to do or survival in our business, like the cost or with the shipping methods. In accounting, when we depend on the customer's demands. If there's no demands, there is no shipping or there is no profits that could be generated. The any kinds problem that should be happen in our business or running of business is about the transportations model. The transportation model is mapping about the possibility between our capacity or the company's capacity compared to the customer demands and our shipping costs. The shipping cost is representing about the minimum of unit production costs that could be happen in every productions or every process or the value chain of the productions. For examples, we have to transform about the three kind of product from the plantations number one, plantation number two, plantation number three, and it's should be based on the customer demands. We have four kind of regions. The region, let's say that it's a region one, region two, region three, and region four. So this is the allocations are based on the our capacity in each of plan or each of the productions. So when we combine any kind of the network of diagrams, what we can supply for every plantations. For examples, for the plantations one, it should delivers our products to the region number one, two, three, and four. They will be separate in any probability functions or mathematical functions. So every regions will be received all of the products from the plantation number ones. The similar points, it's also reflected in the plantation number two and plantations number three. They need to send about the ending product of the plantations for each region, for the region one, two, three, and four. But the similar type will be generated from the plantation number three. So we need to create some flow of products or the flow of informations between the plantations coming through the every regions. So this is the basic problem in the transportation model. While we do some business in logistic transportations. So in Excels, you can do with the probability models like this one. Please remind about the materials. We talk about the probability and non-probability samplings. We do these ones. We need to covers of the possibility or the solutions using the probability models. Another modeling issue that could be supposed to be happen in our material is about the customer demands. The customer demands is not only talk about the minimum requirements that will happen or will be asking for our customers. So as the producers, we need to think how to forecast the demand from a customer. So we need to considering the maximum of a sales quantity because we need to cover all of the customer demands. When the customer's demand is fulfilled with our predictions, they will be happy and our productions will be run with the easy way. So that kind of how to make some simplex methods. It's combining between the customer demands and our capacity of productions. But you need to cover with the one accounting issue in here is about the quantity of a discount of products, because in real conditions, maybe in the trading activities, we use the discount problems. The discount will be cut or reduced with our costs, or maybe reducing our profits. So it should be included in our price of demand. If you can set about the how much the demand from your customers, and how much the service products that your company can prepare for productions, and also you can predict which the discount for your any kind of products, you can set about your financials model. The financial models will be help you to optimize your fund resources, so you can apply it in your financial area, including your investment strategy and your pension fund strategy. In this case, we can set about the example for the pension fund managements that will be allocated for the companies. The companies have to allocate of the money, or maybe with the purchases or the future cash availability, using the initial allocations for the future pension fund and payment. In this case, we need to use with the one of financial law is about the future value of money, of the future value of accounting. The next financial modeling that we can do in our analysis is about the capital budgeting. How we forecast the net present value, or the break-even points that will be taken for every kind of investments, not only in the productions, but it's for any kind of investments. Even they are invest in a products, or invest in a fixed assets, or any kind of capitals. So we need to solve these mathematical functions using the financials, and also connecting with the capital budgets. How about the accountings? The accounting is also impacted with the financials models. For the real case, we do with the sum of fixed cost models. As we learned that the fixed cost is containing that a one cost that will be used by any department in organizations or in your factory. So the fixed cost model should be applied in a fixed charts, in the fixed number of any cost, and independently it's affected for every activities and your production system. So sometimes fixed cost models will not representing about the linear functions. It's depend on maybe for the volume of your floor, the volume of your productions, or maybe the volume of your demand. So it should be in a binary functions, or maybe in non-binary functions in integral model. So we need to think that sometimes fixed cost is not defined in a linear functions. It could be in a non-linear functions. So this is the applications, how we found about the optimization in our modeling. For this case, for these examples, you can find about the informations like the shirt, shorts, pant, skirt, and jacket. So this is the fixed cost of manufacturing in our business. For example, for the clothing factory. In a clothing factory, we can produce any kind of clothing like the shirt, shorts, pant, skirt, and jacket. And for this case, we have a rental cost. That's maybe we need to pay some rental payment or rental expense for a machine, or maybe for the packaging of productions. And we also pay about the labor hours, the any dollar that we need to pay for the time will be provided for our labor. And then we have the square of informations, the square of the area that we do in our business. And we also have the informations like the selling price and variable cost per units. So it could be in a difference, not in a linear positions. For examples, for the shirts, if they have the unit variable cost of 20, they will be sell in the $35. So they taken a profit about the $15 over the $20. So it should be in 75% of the profits. But it's difference with the short of clothings. In the shorts, they have the unit of variable cost in a $10 and they will be sell into $40. So the companies take the 300% about the variable cost to do in a selling price. How to set about the selling price variable is depend on the cost of the structures. It's sometimes in proportionally, but in most cases, we can break out the structure or we can violate our structure of the cost because we need to divide any kind of cost. It comes for the sources like the rental cost, the resource or usage like the labor hour, the clothes hour, the unit of clothing, or maybe the difference of a selling price in every regions, or maybe it should be in a different kind of variable cost per unit. So for every product, also set in difference a profit. That's the maybe for any kind of considerations, how we can make some optimization in the fixed cost of manufacturing. So we need to make some another approach between the linear and a non-linear optimizations model. In the non-linear programming or non-linear models, we need to create with the local optimal solutions. I know this is not the best or the fit or the perfect solutions, but we need to find the local optimal solutions. The optimal solutions that could be applied in your local conditions is based on your constraint, based on your possibility, not in the best way, but very global optimum that you can feasible. In the previous slides, we called the feasible solutions that you can reach with your any constraint. So in the financial model, we also called about the portfolio selections model because we need to find any kind of possibilities that could be happens in our observations. So there is no guarantee which one is the best model. It's depend on the selections, depend on the category. That's all for the modeling issue that could happen in our analysis. When you check about your virtual class, we have one data to be compared in our analysis. The data is containing about the real data in a soft string analysis. Okay. Let's check or let's analyze about our data in a soft string analysis. Let's say that we have 180 respondent with the preference in the carbonized waters or maybe a soft drink waters. I have some preference from the global products like the Pepsi and Coca-Cola. And then we have the collaborations with your local products in your country, Royal True. One of the best carbonizations drink in Philippines. This one is a difference because it's containing with the local products in your country. And this one is a very global conditions. It's about the mineral water, the water that we can drink in any conditions. So we need to compare, we need to make some optimal solutions. Which one the soft drink that will be in the high demand of our respondents. We talk and we need to compare between 180 respondents. In this case, we can do some analysis using analysis of a variance. In your data analysis, please do with the ANOVA, analysis of a variance. In this case, we can take all of our inputs between the Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Royal True, and mineral waters. And since it's grouped in columns, we need to check about the label in the first row because the first row is the label of data, not in the number. Okay. We have the Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Royal True, and mineral water in the first row. And then for the output range, I will take in the cell G number 1 here. And then we can do with the all of analysis. That's one information that you need to know if about the number of 1 to 10. This is the preference, the score of preference given by the respondents after they are tasting about the soft drink, like the Pepsi. If they're, we say that respondent number 1, after they drink about the Pepsi, they scored 5 out of 10. And then they drink about the Coca-Cola, they scored 7 out of 10. When they drink about the Royal True, they score 4 out of 10. And after that's all, they are in a sugary drinks and they can do with the mineral water. They have an options 1 or scores 1 out of 10. So for this case, we can make some analysis like this ones. Okay, this is the analysis about our 4 observations. A Pepsi, Coca-Cola, a Royal True, and a mineral water. For the average, it's very confidence that the highest score is taken by Coca-Cola because the Coca-Cola is a global brand. People for any countries have taste about the Coca-Cola and they will be agree with the same taste. Coca-Cola is a very freshman, their mineral water. Yeah. This is the first one or the highest average of preference in our analysis. The second one is about the Pepsi. Even both of the Coca-Cola and Pepsi is a global product. They are very in a compete positions. Some of most of people like Coca-Cola and Pepsi in a global way, not only in Philippines, also in Indonesia. But in Indonesia, we doesn't have this one because the Royal True is only found in Philippines. In Indonesia, sometimes we find another drink like this one, Fanta. Is it right, Angel? We can find Pepsi, Coca-Cola, and Fanta in Indonesia. In mineral water, we can find in any countries. But in Philippines, we can find about Royal True. But this is the same way. That's it's very confident that we say that all of your peoples like the Coca-Cola and Pepsi because it's a global branding. So it's everyone agree that Pepsi and Coca-Cola is more tasteful than our local product like Royal True and mineral waters. But we can make if we can make analysis which one is the best, we can do with this one of analysis only with the average. But let's think about the variance. The variance is uh the square root support the standard error or deviations. When we say that Coca-Cola is in the best one, we have the variance 3.9. And the second one is about the Pepsi, 4.4. But we have the lowest of variance. So in this case, we can debatables about which one is the best. For the average, Coca-Cola is the best. But for the variance in the claim of error of analysis, the Pepsi is the best. So it should be debatable. Which one is the best soft drink in Philippines? It's between Pepsi or Coca-Cola. It's depend on your point of view. If you do with your average, Coca-Cola is the best. But if you think about the error of your variance or error of your respondents, Pepsi is the best one. But how about the analysis if you can make some optimizations? What kind of optimizations? Please choose the two products that could be in a substitutes on complement. So we can make with some relationship analysis. In this case, we can do with some correlations. Okay. Let's say that some correlations. We can take all of the informations from Pepsi until to mineral waters. Okay, it's grouped by the column labeled in the first row, and the output range we will take in the G number 18. Okay, this is the analysis. We can find that the combinations between Pepsi and Coca-Cola, they are in a positive correlations. But the highest one is in here. This is very highest coefficients. So we can combine between a royal true and mineral water. So this is the out of beyond of the analysis. While we know that a Pepsi and Coca-Cola is still debatable which one the best, but it's based on individual analysis. But for the optimizations, if you can choose two kind of products, we should choose mineral water and a royal true because it create the highest correlations. So it could be very generous and could be substitutes. While royal true, it's an drinking with the high of sugar ingredients. It's the opposite with the mineral water. They are in the plain base. So when a people's taking royal true, they also take with the mineral water. Okay, because for this analysis, we know that if you buy royal true drink, you also buy mineral water. So it's possible if you are in the sales or marketing, you need to sell royal true and mineral water together, so you can getting for the higher profits. This is the meaning of the optimizations of analysis between our data. Okay. So far, any question from you? to take some analysis using optimizations and how to apply in our analysis. Any questions from Clinis, Fenis, Yasin, or Sitabel and Oliver?
None for me, sir.
Okay, thank you for responding, Fenis. Okay, thank you for responding, Clinis. Yeah. Today we need to introduce you how to make some optimizations in our analysis. We do with a two kind of analysis. We can use with ANOVA, analysis of variance, if you want to comparing between individual analysis. But if you have more than one exercising, you can do with the correlation analysis because it's the kind of optimizations that we have in our data, like comparing about the soft drink analysis between 180 respondents. Okay, Angel, thank you for assisting us. Okay, no questions from Yasins. Yeah. Today, for this class, I doesn't have any kind of supplemental data, except this one, the data number 4 for soft drink data. You can do with your individual exercise, but it's not the object of submissions. The submissions will be offered in the next meeting in the 3 June. In the next sessions, in session number 13, we have 2 points of analysis, the optimization and the uncertainty of informations. So for the next sessions, in the next meetings, will be graded for the individual exercise, not in these sessions or the sessions number 12. Okay. Yeah, I think it's clear for you. For all of the informations for the material is given in your virtual class and also with your individual exercise of data. Since there's no question so far, I think I have to end our meeting because all of the material has been delivered to you, and I hope it's well delivered. It's about to how to create some optimizations or comparing if you have more one of variables to be analyzed, and you have 2 or 3 kind of models that will be compared in any analysis. Okay, thank you for coming, and thank you for your response in our class for today. Today is a special that there is no exercise to be submit for you, but for the next meeting we do with the double of topic for the optimizations and uncertainty of analysis. Thank you for coming. See you in the next class for next meeting.